GM, everyone. Welcome back to the stream. And today we've got OneRare on here with us, and we're going to learn all about this exciting project. So let's give a quick intro of who you are. Welcome to the stream, by the way.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Supreet Raju and I'm the co founder at OneRare.
Awesome. Cool. That was quick. Yeah, nice and precise. Yeah. Let's give us a background of what OneRare is.
So, OneRare is actually the world's first foodverse. What we started creating in January 2021 was to bring the idea of food to the blockchain, something that hasn't been done before. And
Mhm.
as we've gone through the past year and a half, we have kind of transformed into becoming the world's first food metaverse, which allows the global food industry to actually come into the metaverse space, issue NFTs, create membership experiences, play games, and allow foodies across the world to indulge in this love for food on the blockchain. So we actually have a lot of zones that we are developing. The first of which is the gaming zone, which is now live. And as we go along, we basically plan to gradually bring chefs and restaurants into unique experiences for people to engage in.
Mhm. Awesome. And this game is. Can you tell us more about this game?
Sure. So, what we've done in our gaming layer is that we've divided it over four different zones. So, we have the farm, farmer's market, the kitchen, and the playground. So, you can basically start at the farm as in our real world and go over there to stake the ORARE token. Now, till now, we've actually seen staking programs, where you can stake a token to earn more. But at OneRare, we've created a unique staking contract where you can stake the ORARE token to actually get ingredient NFTs. So we have six
Mm.
staking pools, which are different themes like Farm Fresh. We have the Sunshine Dairy. So based on whatever theme of ingredient you're looking for, you can stake our ORARE token over there. Once you've staked the token, you actually get ingredient NFTs as per that theme. So they come directly to you. You have those ingredient NFTs, you can take them to two different places. The first is the farmer's market, where you can go and sell them directly. So you can make a tidy profit. It's the farmer's way, where you can sell it to other dish collectors. Or you can actually go to the farmer's market, collect other recipes, other ingredients that you want to. Let's say you want to make French fries. To make that at home, you need cooking oil, potato, and salt. So in the same way, you make them in our foodverse. So you let's say you farmed for the cooking oil and potato. You can go to the farmer's market and buy that salt. Once you
Mm.
have all these ingredients, you can head to our kitchen, which is the heart of OneRare. In our kitchen, you can basically check out the various recipes, locate the French fry recipe, and go and cook up this dish. The cooking up function basically takes away your ingredient NFTs and gives you the French fry NFT. So, kind of the same
Mhm.
like our kitchen, you can't go back bringing the ingredients back to life. The dish is now your NFT. And then you can head to the playground and you can basically play games with that. The first game we have is Food Truck Wars, where you can actually run your own food truck, serve customers, and earn more money. Or as we go along, also find real world function for these NFTs, wherein let's say you have a French fry NFT, you would be able to take that to one of our restaurant partners and
Mm.
claim a French fry against that as well. So, what we've done around food is basically create this whole narrative where it starts at the farm by you growing your own ingredients and ends with you being able to play games or finding utility of those NFTs in the real world.
Yeah, that's amazing. Making an NFT French fry and then claiming it. That's yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's gonna happen eventually. So very exciting to see when it actually happens. Maybe OneRare is the one to make it mainstream. So
Absolutely.
so you farm these ingredients, you cook them in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and then you can use the dish to either claim it claim a real meal in real life, or you can use it to play the game. And you said that you can use the game to earn more money. So
Yes.
could you talk more about the earning mechanics behind the game
Sure.
and also what the game is?
Absolutely. So, as you can see on the screen as well, the game is Food Truck Wars. So, it will involve three participants, each coming in with two dishes of their own. So, the minimum entry criteria for this is to bring two dishes. So, each round will have a theme. Let's say it's an Italian summer round. So, on this theme, you know that you can choose dishes that are closer to Italian cuisine or the ones that would work best. Once you've selected your dishes, you can also set the price of this dish. So, let's say you want to price it at $5 or $7. Once once you've made these settings, and so have the other two players, we go into a simulated 1 minute gameplay where your customer bots will come in, and based on the theme, the pricing, the weather, and other conditions, they would be coming to your truck. So the truck that earns the most at the end of this 1 minute round will actually win. And so the winning criteria for this, or the entry criteria, involves, let's say, each truck putting in one ORARE each. So the bounty of three ORARE then gets divided to the winner getting 1.8, the second position getting 1.2, and the third person losing their stake.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I guess like one question I have, because I have no clue on how food and Web3 will combine. Like I think you know what I mean. That's very badly articulated. But like, are there any other utility? Like, what's the what is the utility of food NFTs? Like, are there any more examples other than claiming a free meal in real life?
Yeah, absolutely. So the bigger picture, or the next zone that we actually come up with, is the virtual restaurant zone, and that is a bigger foodverse metaverse experience. So what that does is, I'll quickly talk about the four categories of experiences that a person can have with a chef or a restaurant. So the first, of course, is the connect experience, which is based on all our social media currently being 2D, and bringing that to a 3D form, making it more immersive, more enjoyable for the participants. So, whether it's about checking out your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram feeds, YouTube streaming videos, live sessions with the chefs or restaurants, as well as being able to look at their NFT cookbooks or their general cookbooks, buying digital copies for that as well. The second kind of experience is based on the restaurant experience. So today we have cloud kitchens, virtual restaurants, we have home delivery joints, ghost kitchens, and all these we can't relate to at some level, because we don't really know what the experience or what they embody. We go to their Instagram page, or we're ordering them off food delivery apps, but we don't know so much about them. So helping them create their virtual restaurants where you can go check out their food in 3D, place orders directly onto their website, celebrate their new launches in a way that, let's say, Domino's wants to launch a new flavor across 100 countries, and they do a special NFT drop that allows people to play a game and win an NFT that can be claimed for a real world pizza. So something like that, to celebrate new launches as a campaign globally, not restricted to your local markets. The third, of course, is the gaming layer, which I feel has worked the best for Web3 right now, simply because it's the easiest way to understand basics. Even when we started building our game, it was mainly due to the paucity of women gamers, children, younger people who had nothing really to game with in Web3 technology. And that's where OneRare comes in for me, where I feel this is something more people can relate to. Everybody has a favorite food or a favorite dish, something they hate, something they love.
Yeah.
And so I think we've also used gaming as a way to make it simpler for people to understand concepts like staking, smart contracts, swapping of NFTs. And so even with the restaurants or our chef partners, we would like to come up with simple gameplays that maybe embody their cuisine. For example, we are partnered with a modern Indian cuisine restaurant called Farzi Cafe, which has a lot of interesting, gastric molecular gastronomy, and a lot of things happening, which they want to convert into kind of a game where people can come and construct their own order, and that can be delivered to them. Or burger wars, where two people go head to head to create a better recipe. So that's kind of the gaming layer. And the fourth, and kind of the one that is most relevant right now, is a membership club NFT concept. We're already seeing that with a bunch of other NFT projects. But what makes it interesting in the food industry is that you can either have a membership as a large restaurant or a chain with many franchisees. So, okay, your membership works across franchisees, but it's also a great way to bind smaller businesses together. So, let's say, we have one of our UK partners is a brand called A Rule of Tum. And they own a burger shop, which is based on the concept of sustainability, local eating, farm to table, that concept. And such concepts exist all across the world, whether we're in the US or in Dubai, there are such other small gourmet burger shops. So they can also come together to create a membership program wherein, if you are a part of this burger experience, you actually get to attend special tastings. You can go to a different city, and let's say I land in the UK. I know this is a burger I can try because I'm a member here. So a lot of cross marketing opportunities, and of course, being so new as an industry, I think with every passing month or 2 months, we discover new ways to implement or come up with more ideas. So we wouldn't say that this is the final solution, but the idea is to bring a traditional industry like food into a very modern tech space.
Hmm. Yeah. And this is a very hard question, but do you think you can predict when the food industry will start to leverage the NFT technology?
Yeah,
Because
I
I'm
think
very out of that space.
no, actually, they've already started doing that. So we are currently partnered with the traditional industry as well as Web3 in two ways.
Mm.
So with the traditional industries, we've actually tied up with chefs and restaurants from all across the world. We are partnered with, from India, we have Saransh Goela, who's India's top young chef. We have Anthony Serpong, who's actually a Michelin star chef from Germany. We have Renel Pornomo, who's actually the Desert King and from MasterChef Australia. Zoravar Kalra is with the massive restaurants is actually one of the biggest restaurant groups in India right now. Buratino Pizza is from the West Coast. So we've actually done partnerships from all across the world already, and we're in the process of actually building out their experiences and releasing them. We see a huge interest in the food market. Because the last 2 years of the pandemic have actually been very hard on them. They
Hmm.
are as famous as a chef can be. You and I may know the top 20 chefs all across the world, but they can only monetize a very local audience. They can only run their restaurant, their flagship restaurant, release a cookbook, or maybe sign a TV deal. But with the pandemic coming in, with the lockdowns, with the shutdowns, they saw a need to kind of expand or generate revenues at a more global level. And that's where
Hmm.
something like Web3 and blockchain comes in, because you get exposure to audiences across the world. You get a chance to actually interact with audiences that may be aware about your food or would love to know more about your food. So we are seeing a huge interest even within the US. We're already tied up with the feed as well as the Black Foodie Finder. So between the food tech apps and media publications, food startups, we have a whole bunch of different partnerships in this space already. And the second kind of partner we're actually creating is in the Web3 space, because we're the official food partner to a lot of Web3 games, wherein we're coming in and actually creating a food offering for their games. So whether it's Chumbi Valley, Thetan Arena, Age of Tanks, we've actually come in as a food partner for all of these. So we look at ourselves like the food people on the blockchain. We are not here to compete with other people. We are the happy food people who are ready to supply food to everyone.
So how does Thetan Arena use food NFT? Like, how are you supplying them, and what are
Yeah.
you
So
supplying them with? Yeah.
yeah, so basically, we are creating these food NFTs inspired by their game,
Mm.
inspired by the whole look of their characters and how the story of their characters evolve. And these foods will come in as energy boosters, or they would be applied within the game itself. In the case of, for example, Chumbi Valley, we created a special, they ran a special contest with their community telling us what kind of dishes and things they would like to see. And now they've gone into the Chumbi Valley as collectibles and boosters for their game.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I guess like so these food NFTs that you supply to these games, how would the players get their hands on it? Would they have to own something from OneRare, or would they have to own something from Chumba Valley or the Arena?
So in each case, the partnership is custom based on what the gameplay is and how does that suit them. So I mean, in certain cases, it can be a collectible that could be given to the top holders of their
Mm.
token or the top players of that week. In certain cases, it would be embedded into the gameplay and you could earn it within the gameplay itself. So we've not kept a hard and fast rule, because every game has its own flow and we don't want to be disruptive to the flow of any game. So we leave that to the game to decide as to how best implement this solution.
Awesome. I wasn't expecting all this. So I guess like the possibilities really are
Yeah.
endless with your
Yeah.
project. Just
Yes, absolutely. And we have a lot of fun because it's food. So every time a new idea comes up, we're more than happy to try it out. And like I said, foodify the blockchain.
I mean, I love food in real life, and I'm starting to love food on the blockchain too. So it's just
That's
who doesn't
brilliant.
love food? Yeah.
Absolutely. That was our first question as well when we started building it.
Yeah, it's a very unique project too. I've never heard of anything like this before, so amazing. Um,
Thank you.
like I'm big in the NFT gaming space, and right now there's a divide between gamers on NFTs are the future, NFTs are a scam. Is there
Yeah.
something similar with restaurants and chefs?
So I think with restaurants and chefs, in a lot of cases, they have actually approached us. So it's been great for us because they have come through some of our investors, or some people knew someone. So in a lot of cases, it's their own curiosity that brings them to us. And what we have within that industry is two kinds of people. Either they understand everything, they are already invested in other projects, they own an NFT, they understand everything about the workings of this space, which is great. But then there are some that, of course, need a little more hand holding, a little more introduction into the space as well, which is why for us, it's always been very important to look like a legit project, even in terms of
Hmm.
our angels when we picked up our funding round, or the VC partners we have, or being accountable to our community. We really focus on making sure that we are delivering on our promises, making sure that we're a project that is focused on output rather than just a long story of what we will build after a long time. So I think that's the thing with the food industry. There, of course, like any other person that I'm sure you also meet today, who realizes you're in this space, and they would ask you, okay, oh, tell me about this space, I want to sit down with you, I want to know more about NFTs or the metaverse. I think the curiosity is worldwide at this point of time. So I think everybody is willing to try something out. And I think if you simplify the technology for enough people, adoption also follows.
Yeah, definitely. If they understand it, then I think you have a much better chance of converting them. I
Yeah.
don't want to use the word convert, but I don't know what else to use. So,
No, I mean, that's totally fair, because I started, I mean, comparatively later in the blockchain industry. I started in 2018, and I initially felt, honestly, I mean, in a very crass word, I felt very stupid, because when I used to read something online, I mean, the technical language, the
yeah.
flow, I mean, it was designed to either make you feel like an insider or an outsider. And I think I'm really glad to see that changing about the industry now, even with NFT NYC or other events happening, where people are talking more simply, people are willing to explain, people are creating projects with in a way that is inviting more people in, rather than being a very closed ecosystem.
Yeah, I agree. When I first tried to learn about blockchain about I don't know, in 2017, all the words they used were like I'm just like every other word. I'm just like, what does this mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly. So I think it was too much back then, like the journalism, the articles, and
yeah,
it's good to see it more open now.
yeah, definitely. So let's talk about the past experience with you and your team.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
No, no, that's it.
Okay, I
oh,
know.
that,
Can you just
oh,
repeat that, please?
okay. Let's talk about the past experience with you and your team.
Okay. So actually, OneRare is co-founded by me and my husband. Gaurav, my co-founder, is actually also my husband, and this was a pandemic baby for us. We
Okay.
started in Jan 21, like I said, and we first focused on building out an MVP. We built that by around June, July, and that's when we kind of started expanding our team. We currently are a team of about 30 people, which includes our 3D artists, our metaverse, social, of course, the blockchain dev team as well. And we've been steadily expanding, keeping our goals in mind. We raised a round of about 2.3 million, and did our TGE in November last year. And most of our team is actually very young professionals, a lot of people who for whom it's their first blockchain project as well. And it's been a very interesting mix for us to be remote since day one, because we've actually been able to get the best of blockchain talent, rather than being restricted by a physical location. So
Mhm.
it's been a good journey thus far. I'm actually very proud of what our team has built out as well, and the effort they put in every day.
Mhm. Awesome, awesome. So how big is the team right now?
So we're about 30 people in all, including our social media wing, including our designers. Actually, now seeing that, I realize it needs an update as well to add more people. But we've been steadily adding, of course, because the scope of food and the scope of building this out is so immense that we don't want to miss out on a chance or opportunity in this process. So we really have our foot to the pedal, and we just really want to come to market as soon as possible, show people what we've been building. Even at the back end, there are a lot of things that we have currently ongoing that we released right after our mainnet. And so we are quite excited to show people the entire scope of what food can do.
Awesome. And did you guys have any NFT sales or token sales or anything like that?
Yeah, so we are actually, our token is currently live in the market, but our NFTs would be live very shortly. We are currently in the middle of our beta test net, which is public right now. The plan was to go to mainnet in within this month, and so we will basically be on mainnet in a few weeks.
Okay, cool. And the NFTs that you'll be launching, is
Mhm.
it the same as the ingredients that we talked about before, or is it completely
Yeah.
different?
So the first set of NFTs that'll come will actually be the ingredient
Ah,
NFTs and the dish NFTs. The ingredients would be used to make the dish, and we have actually a very interesting feature with our dishes. The difficulty of each dish actually makes the game more interesting. So let's say you're the first guy who comes in and you want to make a French fry. You need one of each ingredient to do so. Once you've minted the first one, we're on to the second copy, and I come in. I want the French fry again. I would need to bring three of each ingredient to make the French fry. So we have an escalating difficulty attached to all our recipes, which means that your NFT actually gets more valuable with every mint. Because let's say it's now onto the 10th NFT, so somebody needs to bring in 20 of each ingredient to make it, which means that you can also go to the market and demand or command that price for your NFT. So I think with that, we try to solve the problem of, abundance becoming a problem for the price of an NFT. So we have a graph which basically makes the minting difficulty um, more difficult with every subsequent mint. So coming in early also has a significant advantage in the game. And as we go to mainnet, we will actually be releasing recipes every day from Monday to Friday, so that people have a chance to come in and make the recipe first as well, if they want to. And we'll just keep adding to the menu from foods all across the world.
okay. So you guys are gonna be adding new dishes 5 times a week for the foreseeable future?
Yes, 5 times a
Okay.
week, 3 dishes a day. So 15 dishes every week would be
Oh, okay.
added.
Cool, cool. And how large will the collection be? And do you guys already have the initial mint price or the date?
No, so actually, what is interesting is that because people have to stake the ORARE token to
Mm,
actually make the dish, we do not control any part of this process. This is a genuine farmer's market wherein the
okay.
gamer can come in and set the price depending on what they see in the market. Let's say there is no cheese available, you have a chance to price it very high because you know a
Yeah.
collector is waiting for it. Let's say there is a lot of potato in the market and you want to cut yours fast, you can underprice your potato and get going. So this is entirely a gamer's game. This is not a game where we control any dynamic, because once
Okay.
you stake your ORARE token, the ingredients come to you from the pool itself, and the game is in control of the farmers and the collectors.
So it sounds like your team is not selling anything. It's just
No.
if you want to get the NFTs, you have to stake the token and then you get it that way.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool. Is there any other important utility for the token that you would like to mention?
So right now, I mean, of course, the token is the beginning point, and it runs the entire foodverse. So whether it is staking in the farm, or your transaction at the farmers market, or playing further games in the playground, the token is involved in all of those steps. And we have basically focused more on the gameplay rather than focusing on how to fit in our token. So we have it where it organically works for us, and the idea is basically to, I mean, it needs to stop mattering whether the game is on blockchain or off blockchain. We are an on blockchain game, but I think the game also needs to be entertaining in itself, as we saw with even the Axie and the play to earn. And something that I've been hearing about a lot at recent conferences, that if somebody doesn't find the game enjoyable and they're still playing it, then they're not really playing. It is work then, because
Mhm.
they're not enjoying the
Yeah.
game. A game is meant to be enjoyed first. So the way we've kind of built OneRare, and even the testing response that we've gotten, is focused on people actually being excited to cook the dish they love. They want that pepperoni pizza before someone else, and they're all haggling in the market, and it's been a very interesting community experience, and I think that's what we wanted.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's amazing. And the partnerships on the website. Um, so let's say if I want to claim a dish from Arnold,
Mhm.
I just have to make an NFT that his restaurant sells, and then I can claim it.
Yeah, so basically, with our chefs, we will basically be creating three special dish NFTs to begin with. Those dishes can actually either be unique, one of a kind, rare dishes, which means only one copy would ever be made, or they could have multiple copies in the same exponential graph that we do. The recipes, of course, would be their most signature dishes, so they could be slightly more difficult to create as well. But yes, you can go through the same process to actually make that dish.
Cool. And how would the NFTs work with restaurants and brands?
So with restaurants and brands, in case they're doing a let's say, I think I would split it in two different parts. One would be them coming into our gameplay. So what we like, or what we like to talk about in our gameplay, is that every NFT has a certain utility, whether it's the ingredient that is needed to make a dish, or it's the dish that is needed to go into the playground. We have utility for our NFT. So let's say tomorrow there is Heinz ketchup, or there's Tabasco sauce, and they want to release their NFTs. If they come in as an ingredient, the NFT always has utility and thus holds value. So, in one way, we would like to bring in these restaurants, food brands, various kind of ingredient brand into the gameplay. And the second, of course, is if they want to do special promotions or events, then it would be more easier or more cohesive to actually do a special NFT drop, which is kind of focused on this particular launch and have function for that accordingly.
Okay, cool, cool. And a lot of the a lot of founders and NFT projects, they suffer from the current market. Everyone in the NFT space is very impatient. They want the project to be worth 10 Ethereum now. So is that
Yes.
similar with your project as well?
Yeah, I mean, the community expectations, we have to acknowledge the fact that a majority of the Web3 audience today has come into the market or into the industry in the last bull wave. They're used to this. They're used to seeing a project 100x for them. They're used to seeing, all the joy rides of a bull wave. And now we are not in a bull run anymore. We are in a bear market. So
Yeah.
I understand the process. I mean, it would, if you're going and winning a lottery every day and then you stop winning, you will
Hmm.
be pissed off at the lottery. So
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a learning curve for everybody who's joined into the community in the last 1 year, started investing in the industry in the last year. But I think for our community, I would say we have a very positive community who sees that we're building something different, who sees all the partnerships we bring in every week, all the development that we've been doing. So I think we have a lot of good long-term supporters with us. So I think, yeah, I would say that because we're doing something so different, it makes people more curious.
Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely be more curious as well. I am curious. So did you launch a token during a bear market or was it a bull market?
It was during the bull market. We released it on the 30th of November. So we actually did our IDO on Trustpad, Engine Starter, and then a pre-IDO with Genesis Shards. And then we released our token on the 30th of November. I think
Mhm.
it's also important that the token comes out before the game so that there is enough spread for people to play as well. Because in our case, we need to stake the ORARE token to really begin the game. So it was a conscious move on our part to actually have our token in enough distribution so that the gamers could have access to it to begin their game.
Mhm. And if they want to buy the ORARE tokens, which exchange should they go to?
Okay, so we actually we the project is based on Polygon, so we are currently on QuickSwap and we're also on Mexi, so they can go to either platform to buy the ORARE token.
Okay. And is there any other utility for the ORARE token that you would like to talk about?
So at this point of time, the token basically is the main game show or runs the whole game. Without the ORARE token, you actually cannot begin or end the game. And that is the most important utility for us. As we go along, of course, we will also be introducing more governance related utility as well as adding to the features of the ORARE token.
Cool, cool. And there's also a marketplace on your website. So I'm guessing this way you go to buy the ingredients as well as the completed dishes.
Yeah, so we have the farmers market where farmers can come and list their ingredient or their dish if whatever they want to sell. And In that, we run an algorithm where, let's say you are a buyer that comes in and you want to buy 5 potatoes. The 5 cheapest potatoes will automatically be credited to your wallet. So you have an
Mm.
option. You don't really have to go hunting through a lot.
Okay.
We have algorithms where, as a buyer, you have the benefit of getting the cheapest deal. We also have an option when you're making your recipe, a very special button called Magic Buy. So let's say you come in and you want to. May I ask you what your favorite dish is?
My favorite dish. This is a very hard question. uh, I'm just gonna go with pizza.
Oh, okay,
Sounds
perfect.
boring, but
Okay. So let's say you want a margarita pizza, right?
okay.
So you can go to the margarita pizza recipe page, and that is going to tell you what ingredients you need.
Mm,
But it'll also give you a magic buy option where, through one click itself, it will buy all those ingredients for you. So you don't actually even have to go hunting. You can buy them with one click, with one simple transaction. All the required ingredients would come to your wallet, and then you can mint your dish. So we've basically tried to make it fun and engaging for people, not tire them out, as well as make sure that their financial interest is best kept.
Yeah, that's very convenient. And what is your favorite dish? What will you be cooking the most in
Oh,
the kitchen?
there's a reason why the pizza's up there as the first NFT we have. So, yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of things. We started this because, a lot of people ask us whether Gaurav and I come from the food industry, but we actually don't. We just come from the foodie industry because we love food. We love eating out all the time. So, for me, there's like a lot of favorites in there, from pad thai, golgappe, butter chicken, pizzas, sushi. I would love to have them all. So I think I'm going to have a very hard time letting go of my
Yeah.
NFTs.
Yeah, whenever people ask me what my favorite food is, like I'm just like, what is my favorite food? There's so many things that I could say.
Yeah. No, I think that's the case for everybody, and that's when we realize that, food, it brings a smile to your face. You don't even need to know a language to actually, see a dish from your country. And like, somebody from Costa Rica comes in and sees a casado, they know what that is.
Hmm.
So that's kind
Yeah,
of why we chose food.
yeah. And are you guys planning to expand into the metaverse, like buy a land plot inside the sandbox or anything like that?
So actually, Sebastian is one of our angel investors, and so we've been very lucky to have been constantly interacting with him through this process as well. We do have a very different look from the sandbox at the moment, so we will have to figure out how the collaboration works. But we would love to send pizzas to Snoop Dogg's house, and this is something, have those crossover parties, host a pop-up restaurant maybe. And we actually have a few partners as well who have sandbox spaces, like Viv, which is a wine based project. They're actually our wine partner as well. And they're creating an experience right now in the sandbox. So I think the great part about Web3 is that everybody's in it together. We're not
Yeah.
competing. We're not like, oh, I can't tell you this or that. I think it's a more wholesome place to be. And I think it would be great if we collaborate with not just the sandbox, but with all metaverses and bring food to them. So that's
Hmm.
something we definitely look forward to.
So if you delivered pizzas to this to Snoop Dogg's party, will there be any utility for the pizzas?
That's exactly what we will need to figure out. Maybe they
Yeah.
get like a private concert with Snoop Dogg, or there's a private party at his house or something like that.
Yeah, it could be anything, I
Yeah.
guess. Like if you have a slice of that pizza
Yeah.
from the party,
Yeah,
that could be a
it's
ticket
pretty
to
much like
anything.
eating food in the real world. I mean, the possibilities are pretty much endless, and
Yeah.
we're actually also associated with, not associated, but we would like to work for, let's say, create initiatives that also work for action against hunger, because I think that that is a very organic outcome, or gives our project more purpose. Even at our end, it makes it more meaningful for us. So for something like that, we plan to set up a food fridge where people can come and stake their dish NFT, and use that to actually run a real world food fridge. So, in cases like those, any kind of collaborations that we have, we would like to focus those on such initiatives.
Cool. Cool. And what can people expect from OneRare this year?
So within this year, actually, a lot of big things are going to be happening. Most of what we've spoken about, like I said, so within this month, our mainnet will be live as well as the testing for the Food Truck War game. The reason for that testing, uh, in in this stages is because we need enough people to have dishes before they enter the food truck war game. So we go to mainnet with our dishes. We give people about a month to create their dishes, and then we release the mainnet of food truck war. So our entire gaming layer would be out. Parallelly, we have all our food wars experiences that we've been building out. The burger shop, we have Foodful, we have Salt, we have Fuzzy Cafe, and all these virtual experiences will also start coming out towards the end of August as well. So within this year, we actually have a lot of launches coming up and a lot of exciting things. So by the end of the year, you're actually going to be seeing a massive food wars built out.
Awesome. Are you planning to build out a real life restaurant, or is that in the roadmap?
Honestly, no, not at the moment, to be honest, because I think there is a lot of good food already around. We
True.
would rather celebrate the food of those chefs and those restaurants all across the world rather than creating a physical location, because I think our
Yeah.
partnerships would do that for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you don't need a restaurant at all. What you guys are doing is already very unique. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think if the NFT has utility for a person sitting in Australia and a person sitting in India, I mean that would be more important to us rather than everybody needing to
Mhm.
come to a physical location.
True. True. Awesome. And for my last question, what is the vision of OneRare?
So I think the big picture that has now come to be, or what I say is the vision, is to actually bring the food industry to blockchain, be their technology partner, be the Web3 project for the food industry. They've obviously in the 10 years ago when Instagram came, it was considered such a niche software that was left to a certain age group, and today a brand or a business can't survive without an Instagram
Yeah.
page, or a presence. So I think 10 years ago they didn't take that so seriously, but the metaverse is the future, and the food metaverse is hopefully the future of the food industry, where we have a curated regulated environment around the food industry, and people can come in, check out all the chefs and restaurants, order their food in a more immersive way. You and I can hang out over a coffee that is delivered to our homes, chill in the metaverse, and of course expand it further to the beverage industry as well. Create a cohesive F&B planet.
Yeah. I think NFTs will definitely be a big part of the food industry, just because the possibilities, it's endless.
Yeah,
Anything can happen. So
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, that's the ride we're here for.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, you guys are getting the first movers advantage. Very exciting project. So wish you the best of luck. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming on. And thank you to everyone that tuned in. I hope you all enjoyed this call. So have a great day or have a great night wherever you are. Peace out.